For the first time, the International Court of Justice in The Hague is considering a case to refute attempts by one state to justify armed aggression against another. Ukraine accuses Russia of abusing the Genocide Convention. The document states that signatory countries, including Russia and Ukraine, are obliged to prevent the crime of genocide and punish its commissions. Russia refers to the Genocide Convention in order to destroy Ukraine. Ambassador-at-large of the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry Anton Korynevych told the judges of the International Criminal Court. Kyiv believes that the justification that Russia used to launch a war against Ukraine is a monstrous lie.
In this matter, Ukraine acted quite innovatively and creatively and argues that the Russian Federation is using the word genocide to justify its armed aggression against Ukraine, and is thus abusing the convention.
In response to the speech of the Russian representative in court, the representative of Ukraine Anton Korynevych called on the International Court of Justice to rule that the Federation must pay reparations for the invasion under false pretenses. The World Bank has estimated that $411 billion will be needed to repair the damage Russia inflicted on Ukraine. According to experts, a court decision in favor of Ukraine may open the way to payment of compensation.
Can it truly be the case that a state can abuse the Genocide Convention to justify a war of conquest? Can a state use false allegations of genocide as a pretext to destroy cities, bomb civilians, and deport children from their homes? And when the Genocide Convention is so cynically abused, is this court powerless? The answer to these questions must be no.
In March last year, Russia refused to comply with the decision of the International Court of Justice on the immediate cessation of hostilities on the territory of Ukraine and filed its objections. The positions of both sides must now be heard. Ukraine's second performance is scheduled for September 27th. The task of Ukrainian representatives at this stage is to prove that the court has jurisdiction to consider the case on its merits, said Ukrainian representative Anton Korynevych.
At this stage, hearings are taking place on whether the court has jurisdiction to hear this case, because the Russian Federation has filed preliminary observations with the court, in which it argues that the court doesn't have such jurisdiction. Before proceeding to consider the case on the merits, that is, whether the Russian Federation is guilty of what Ukraine claims or not, the court must determine whether it even has jurisdiction to consider this dispute or not.
The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe recognized the deportation and forced removal of children from the territories of Ukraine temporarily occupied by the Russian army as genocide. It was on this charge that in the spring of 2023, the International Criminal Court in The Hague issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Commissioner for Children's Rights under the President of the Federation, Maria Lvova-Belova. Reported by Roman Smoler, Victoria Smirnova, UA TV News.